Okay guys, we're back with my bouncing arrow and I'll just show you a couple more things we can do to make this more interesting. Let's have a look. If we put in a step before the forever, so if I put a step in here that says, I'll just stop my animation for a bit. If I put in a step in here that says the first thing I want this arrow to do is turn and then start moving, we will get an interesting pattern that my arrow starts to make. And then to trace that pattern out, I can go to the pen and say that I want to put the pen down and it will start drawing a line for me wherever that arrow goes. Let's speed up the speed a little bit. Let's make it go 7. And now my arrow starts to make a pattern. Now one other thing I might want to look at is when I go stop and I go to start it again, it will just keep drawing over the same pattern. So maybe something else we want to do is put that when it first starts, we want it to clear the pattern that was made before. So now watch what happens. When I click the flag, and you just got to read through it in order. When I click the flag, it's going to clear, then it's going to turn a little bit, and then it's going to forever put the pen down and move. So let's try that. And there we go. Now, the beauty of Scratch is it gives you some cool tools. So the next thing I could do is use my duplicate stamp here, that means copy, and I can copy this arrow and have 2 arrows. And what will happen is when you go and have a look at the second one, it's got the same script as the first one. But we're going to put a change because we're going to put in the second one, we're going to have a different pen color. So if I make the second one's pen red, then when we click the flag, now we've got 2 arrows making 2 different patterns. And even to make that even more clear, I'm going to come into this second sprite, which is called Sprite 1. If I go to the costumes, I can edit this costume. Let's say that we make this costume green, or this arrow green, and then I would come and say that this, instead of being called Sprite 1, is now called Green Arrow. Whoops. A-R-R-O-W, Green Arrow. And then back to the scripts. And then maybe, look, maybe just to make it make sense, let's have the green arrow have green pen. And let's go back to the red arrow. And the red arrow, set the pen color, can have red pen. And let's press the flag again. And now our 2 arrows are going to go off and start making deadly patterns for us. And you could do that with as many different arrows and as many different colors as you wanted, because once again, once you've made one sprite and given it code, you can copy it across to another one. So look, that's just the start of the cool stuff you can do in Scratch. Let's see if you can play around and make some arrows, make some cool patterns. And don't forget, you could also, in the motion, you could also go back and have the arrows turning. You could change them, change things by certain amounts. There's a really endless amount of variation and cool stuff that you could come up with. Alright, cool. Good luck, and let's see how you go.